Yo.
What up? What up?
Woo, I think you just came up with the motto for the pod. Let's talk some shit. You just hit us with the motto.
Absolutely, bro.
Let's go.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Carbon Footprint Podcast. Happy 2025.
Yeah, you got me fucking raging right before the pod, listening to fucking rappers I've never heard of. Getting hype. Oh man, let's go. 2025.
Absolutely.
New backdrop. Same fellas. New drinks. Let's go.
Always new drinks, man. He is Juan and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit him with a drink of the day.
Dude, this might be one of my new favorites, man. The hibiscus smash, right? It's so good, and it sounds overly complicated, and it's really not that bad. It's so good. In a cocktail shaker, you're gonna muddle cilantro, which we've never done in a cocktail before. I don't think. I'm sure someone will come up and be like, actually, episode 17 we did, but
no, that was wine.
That was wine for like the first 90, right? Yeah. So no, yeah. So you're gonna muddle cilantro and half an ounce of agave syrup, and then add the ice. Add 2 ounces of El Mayol Reposado tequila, or your favorite Reposado tequila. But we did a Mayol, and can't recommend this enough. This one was
good.
First time I've had that tequila.
Yeah, and we did try it straight.
Yeah, and it's great straight. It's amazing in this. So you add the 2 ounces of that. You add 3/4 an ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice. And an ounce of hibiscus tea. And we just took some tea bags and we brewed the shit out of it. So what did we use? 3 tea bags? 4 tea bags?
3 tea bags.
8 ounces of water?
probably overkill, but
it was great. And then the cilantro, you probably want to do 2 stalks. I think for the bottom, 2 stalks, and then the simple syrup, and then
you guys can mess with the cilantro. Like if you don't like if it's too strong, just back off on the cilantro. Put 1 stalk in there, and you want to do the stalk with the leaves because that scent comes out of the stalk as well,
and you get that flavor, those oils, all that from there.
Yep.
But yeah, man, so add the tequila, add the lime juice, add the tea, shake that up real nice, pour it in a rocks glass, garnish with another little cilantro leaf. I think I got them all right. Yeah, and enjoy. It's so good. Cilantro, when you said cilantro, I was like, really? Like, I mean, we've done it all. We've done the basil and we've done, I mean, we've done oils and vinegars and all kinds of shit that we would have never thought that we would have never used in a cocktail. But this one, it's unique, man. It's the first time I think we've done a tea, and the first time we've done a cilantro.
And cilantro.
That was awesome. I did. I was telling you before, I did a tea for my coquito. It was the first time I had done tea for.
Yeah, you were saying that shit. I didn't know you could do that. I don't know how to make coquito, so I don't.
Neither did I, but I learned. And then, this is amazing. So try this out, the hibiscus smash. Like I said, one of my new favorite ways to have tequila. I think.
Yeah, and I should probably give a shout out to the website here where I got it from. I did not make this up. What the hell is this? It's Town and Country Mag.
Oh,
actually, .com,
okay.
bro.
I have gotten stuff from Town and Country, man.
Yep. So shout out to those guys.
From food thing, but I'm pretty sure I've gotten some cocktail recipes from them before.
Yeah. So shout out to them. We are enjoying this one, and you should too. And I love the fact that we didn't mix any other alcohols.
No, just the tequila.
When you and for those of you who are tequila drinkers, you already know this. And if you're not, tequila is one of them things, man, or one of those drinks that the next day, like, you will feel fine. If you just stay with that and you're not mixing anything like that, you will be fine the next day.
And this might help you with high blood pressure, because not only hibiscus tea is good for if you have high blood pressure.
It is good for blood pressure?
So is tequila. It's the one thing every doctor I ask, like when they go through the thing, I have high blood pressure, and then when they go through the thing of what you need to cut, and then every time they name alcohol, I'm like, all alcohol? And they're like, well, if you have to have some, tequila is probably the best.
Now, why is that?
It's something to do, I think, with the agave syrup, and then whatever tequila has. I think because most of the stuff is like all natural. Like, obviously this process is whatever.
And it's probably no sugar.
But I think that's a lot of it,
right?
Too.
The sugar?
Like,
Dude, sugar wreaks havoc on the body.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for those of you who don't know that, right? Like, sugar is not fucking good for you.
We say as we sip 17 ounces. Do as we say, not as we do.
We did use agave syrup. I don't know if that matters.
Which is fucking sugar water that tastes like a leaf.
All of that
Like
shit,
a
man.
Mexican leaf.
Fucking the simple syrups. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, you ever make simple syrup?
Yeah, it's fucking a pound of
It's a
sugar. Yeah,
and
it's so
water.
horrible when you see it in that
Yeah,
way. I mean,
dude.
it's literally, if you have like a saucepan, I don't know, like a 2-quart saucepan or a quart and a half, like the entire saucepan is full of sugar and then water.
And then water.
And then eventually
And then
you
you
boil
heat it
it
up.
and the sugar disintegrates.
Goes away.
But if looking at it in that context, because they tell you that shit about like bowls of cereal where they try to show you what it is, and they're like,
Oh,
2
yes,
cupfuls
yeah.
of sugar, and like that doesn't really register to us until you actually see it. Like when you see it in the
Yeah.
simple syrup and it dissolves, you're like, oh shit, I'm actually having straight sugar. Yeah, it's pretty wild, and it does fuck up your body. You're right; it wreaks havoc on your body.
Yeah, it really does. Anyway, hibiscus smash, people. Hit it up.
Man, hit it, man. This is so good.
All right, man. Compliment of the week is going out to the NCAA for their first year for the college football playoffs.
Oh, I thought it was for canceling the game. Or postponing.
We're gonna get to that. No, man. So I know you've been watching. For those of you out there, football fans, like it's been fun. Like the 12 teams. There used to be only 4. They expanded it to 12 this year. There was probably some teams in there that probably shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
I think that what I've took my takeaway from this was, there really is, like, all of those years, and I was one of them, man. It was like when UCF had that undefeated season, it was like, oh, they should have been no.
UCF would have gotten whacked.
They would've, yeah.
Bro. And everybody likes to point out that they beat Baylor.
Right.
Baylor's not a power, like it's not
Right.
a traditional power.
I think that so this year it kind of showed me as a fan that there is sort of like the haves and the have-nots in college football, and there is such a big difference in size and skill level for these teams.
I tell people
man.
this shit all the time, bro, and I feel like this playoff proved it. Like, cool, you expand it to, which is too many. I think 6, 7 might be fine, maybe 8.
They're talking about going to 16, bro.
That's
I
not gonna
hope
work,
not.
bro. It's not gonna work. You can already see it with 12. Dude, the teams that would have gotten picked in the top 4, for the most part, like by a committee, would have been in anyway. And you're seeing the teams that they gave a shot to, like the BYUs of the world.
BYU,
like,
SMU.
I mean, you saw Oregon, who Oregon would have been ranked top 4 probably
Actually,
by a
no.
committee.
BYU was out. It was.
You're right. Yeah.
It's the Boise State.
SMU, Boise State was the other one that was in there. But you're seeing it with like Oregon, where they would have in the old days, Oregon would have gotten in anyway because you ran the table. You're
number
Power
one, yeah,
5.
yeah.
They should have gotten in, right? But and I've said this about Oregon for like years. Is Oregon beats you with finesse and the skill positions and the speed and all that stuff.
They
facing,
outscore you.
Right. They just run you out of the building, right? Because they outscore you. They're so fast. They jump on you quick. When you start playing against these SEC teams and these Big Ten teams, and they have, like you were talking before, they have these massive skill players. There's just a difference, bro. When your O-line and your D-line is full of 350-pound dudes who run 4.5 40s, or it's just a different game, bro. And that's what UCF had. UCF is very much like this Oregon team back then. UCF was very fun to watch. They were very fast. They scored a lot. You don't have, like football's one in the trenches, and that's when you get to the Alabamas of the world, when you get to the Ohio States and the Michigans and all that stuff, that's what you're up against.
Yeah.
You're gonna get fucking waxed, bro. Like it's just at that point, it's just like skill. It's everybody's skilled, right? It is like your best players against my best players, and then just sheer physical dominance because you just get the best athletes. Like you just get the best athletes if you're Ohio State and you just and you're Alabama and you're Georgia and you're Florida and you're so. I think what's happening in this playoff is it's becoming, to me, it's just like proving the point of like, hey, more times than not, these committees had it right before.
Yeah.
They had it right. And I know it's the first year and maybe it can be an overreaction. And I'm sure at some point in time, some number 12 will end up winning a game or two. And then, people will make that argument that hey, see, like that's why we have this.
No, it's not.
No,
it's
like
not,
it's that's the anomaly. That's the exception to the rule. It's by and large, as much as we complained, and I was one of them about these committees before, I'm like, fuck, they had it right when they were picking the top 2 and then top 4. And I'm like, pretty fucking good. I'm like, even if you expanded this one, like as a Texas fan, right? Texas would have been on the out if it was the old format with the top 4. But again, man, if you do 5 or 6, I would have been okay with that. But hell, the argument would have been, hey, you lost twice. Like, and they should have been out, and maybe you get pissy because Georgia was there and lost twice. But Yeah, I don't know, man. But it has been fun to watch. It's also been.
Actually, you guys would have been in. So it would have been.
Oh, because they were
it would have been Oregon, Georgia, Texas, and not Arizona State.
Penn State.
I'm trying to see who's number 4. Penn State.
Penn State.
That would not have been a bad.
It would have not. No, but Penn State probably gets washed by. I don't know.
We're gonna see.
We're gonna see, man. Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna see. So right now,
the first
this
time
is
Notre Dame looks like a formidable opponent too. I mean, in a long time, because Notre Dame normally gets washed too when they get to these. Big 10
but they look good. And so right now, the Final Four as of today, and this is where we are, January 2nd.
Yeah.
Ohio State,
now.
Texas. Oh yeah, that's right. Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, Penn State. Again, big schools, known big conferences. They produce a lot of NFL players, and all of the little guys are out. The Boise State,
Yep.
SMU,
Yep.
Indiana.
Yep. Illinois.
Sorry, it was Illinois or Indiana? No,
it was Indiana. You're right.
Indiana,
Illinois had a bowl game, but yeah.
and Arizona State, which had a phenomenal year. And they played Texas.
Yeah,
Fucking,
they
they
well.
probably should have won that game.
Yeah, I would say.
By the way, they
did
played.
everything they could to lose that game. Yeah. And I mean, listen, I think this playoff and then kids watching this coming up now, this either really helps the power conferences or the power team. Sorry, the like the rich get richer, right? Does this then? Does Georgia? Do those guys still stick to like those kids go? No, I want to go still play for these traditional powers for these big time schools because nothing's changed. Because what we thought, I think, and I was one of them, and I still believe this to an extent. Nil will make it to where some of these smaller schools can compete. But in reality, what happens is that Alabama still has more money than everybody, right? Because they have more boosters, they have more tradition, they have, like sort of the blue chip program. And so they can spend more on a player. Notre Dame probably, in the same boat is these guys now can offer more to players. So it's like not only were they recruiting better before because kids wanted to go there because they had best coaches, best facilities, best, and now it's like now they can offer you more money wise. So it's you're almost taking the sort of, I don't want to say advantage that the small schools had before, but maybe just like the one thing that they could compete with. Like if you're an SMU and you had some big booster who had money, you had one big recruit who was willing to come play for you, like maybe you got him for a year.
Right.
But then maybe he's watching this playoff now and going, fuck, it would have been cool to be on that Oregon team. Or shit, it would have been cool to be on Ohio State. Or it would have been cool, and maybe it hurts their recruiting. I don't know. Time will tell. I think the sport that it helps the most is probably basketball, because now you don't have kids doing the one and done rushing out because they need to make a living. Is basketball could use kids that'll stay 2 or 3 or 4
I was just
years.
going to say that, man. That the basketball, NBA is hurting right now.
NBA is awful to watch. Yeah, it's so painful.
But I think that's part of it, bro. I think that because we're not seeing these kids kind of come through college, and then you sort of develop a fan base in college, and then we watch you in the pros.
Yeah.
Whereas in college football, it's great. Like the guys that are coming out, at least a lot of the guys in the first round. You're going, I know these guys. Right?
Yeah,
like
and you have arguments, and you have fucking
6
months of TV shows talking about whether they're going to be a bust or not, and what their pro career is going to be like if they're a college legend, all this stuff. Like basketball doesn't have that anymore.
And half the guys that coming in that are first round picked in the NBA are from overseas.
Yeah. I mean,
that you never heard of
because they're playing with men for however long. Those kids, so even when they're kids, they're playing.
Great talents.
Yeah.
But we don't know them.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to be really curious to see is what impact this has on the sport moving forward, irrespective of what you think of sort of nil. Is it does. It either changes it or it just made this more of what it already was, which is the rich get richer. The power, teams are going to stay the power teams. The play doesn't matter whether you have the playoff. The playoff becomes something that the fans can watch and be good. But at the end of the day, the most talented kids are going to win.
Yeah.
And and again, that's not to say that you're not going to have an upset, and people will use.
You absolutely will have upsets, but the upset, I don't see. Like SMU, right? If they beat Penn State and they go on and then they beat Boise State, and then they end up facing Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Right? you go, okay, now you're gonna get smashed.
But then, do you want to watch? Right, and then what happens if you get SMU, Ohio State, and then they'll get to a final?
Yeah.
Right. Like this has happened in basketball all the time. Like going back to that, like well, you'll get some team that'll make it all the way to the end because
Who are the always
Butler
guys? Butler or Gonzaga. Well,
and then
Gonzaga
they'll
is a
get
powerhouse now.
fucking
But
blown out in the national title game because they'll end up playing Connecticut or they'll end up playing Kentucky or
Villanova or something.
Yeah, right. And they'll end up getting blown out by a traditional power team that has all the talent, that has all, and it's like, I don't want to watch that shit. Like, it's cute. It's a good story. It's a thing. At the end of the game, it's like, did I want to watch UCF get fucking clobbered by Alabama in, the Tostitos Bowl, like in 2000? No. Like, I didn't want to see, I don't want to see 57 to fucking 14. It's like, no, I want to see a close game. I want to see
and we're seeing that.
teams. Yeah.
So that was the thing.
Now you're seeing that. At the beginning of the
tournament,
tourney, you saw it against the bad teams. But like Oregon and Ohio State wasn't close. And then Texas looked like they were going to run away with that game. And then suddenly it got, they
allowed them to hang around.
They just allowed them to hang around.
But Penn State destroyed SMU.
Yeah. Notre Dame kind of destroyed Georgia, which should have been a close game. Georgia's a power team.
Yeah, and they had is it? I think is that Illinois. University? Oh no, it's a university in Indiana. University of Indiana. That's who was in.
Yeah.
Notre Dame played Indiana, but they destroyed them. They destroyed Georgia, which that should have been a close game.
And Indiana was a cool story. Illinois was a cool story. It was like, that's cute. Now you're with the big boys, bro.
Illinois wasn't in though. Just to be clear.
No, but Illinois did have a good year at one point in time. They went up against, I forget who it was. It might have been Ohio State or whoever, but they were undefeated for a long time, and then they just ran into the wall that was the gauntlet of their schedule, where they're actually playing the big boys, and then they just got crushed. And that's not a knock on these kids. It's not, it's hard to like critique like 18-year-old kids who are sort of like chasing their passion. So you don't want it to turn into that, but it's more of a, I think to me, it's like, watching college football fans are so passionate, right? Because everybody cheers for their alma mater, or they're just think, and it's like the reality of the situation is we're so unreasonable when it comes to sports. And so college football was always one of those things where people would argue about, if you got ranked 3 back in the day where it was just a 2, or if you got ranked 4, or hey, my team went undefeated, but they're in the Mountain West Conference, like everybody can go undefeated. It was just like, we're so unrealistic. And then I think what this is ultimately going to show is that, we had it right when we were just picking based on our eyeballs, because the eyeball test typically doesn't fail you. It's like you're watching, just which team's better. Just watch.
And dude, it's almost like you always have we've had games in the past where you've had like a Division I school playing like a really good Division II school, and a Division II school wins, right?
It's hard for the Division I team to get up for that game.
True.
And that's an argument that I'll make for something like that.
And so, but watching these playoffs, I'm going, these are all Division I schools. Should there be a Division 1A?
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? Like a Division 1 and then Division 1A, because there's clearly a separation.
Oh, between Boise State and...
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ohio Penn State demolished them, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's clearly a difference.
And I think Penn State's going to lose to Notre Dame.
Oh, me too. Yeah. I don't think that's close. I mean, I could be wrong, but Notre Dame. This has been the first time where I see a Notre Dame team where I'm going, like normally I go, that's cute. They go undefeated. They're gonna choke in the playoffs, or they're gonna choke when it matters, and they'll lose when they face Ohio State. Not this team. I think this team is for the real deal, man. And I think they get to the national title game. Dude, and then you end up having like a Notre Dame and possibly Ohio State face each other in the national title game. I would love to see the Longhorn there too. That would be a fun game, obviously, to watch for me.
Yep.
But it's interesting because don't Ohio State and Notre Dame play each other? The only loss I think that Ohio State has might be Notre Dame this year. Is it?
No, Ohio State lost to Oregon and to Michigan.
Oh,
and
Oregon
to Michigan.
and Michigan. You're right. So who did Notre Dame run the table then? Notre Dame has a loss then. Maybe that's who lost to Ohio.
They have a loss. I don't know. I forget who they lost to.
But that'll be, I think, a rematch. I'm almost positive they've played each other, and they normally play each other in the regular season. I don't know,
but remember, Notre Dame's independent. They
play whoever. But they're independent, but they always play like the same kind of schedule. Like they always play USC, Stanford, or at least for the last, like they'll have like a 10-year deals where they'll play like usually the same teams. It'll be interesting to watch this thing play out, man.
So yesterday they had, they had supposed to be the 3 games, three games,
triple
right?
Header,
yeah, triple header. The last game was supposed to be the one that was played today, which is Notre Dame against Georgia.
Also, fuck you, NCAA, for making it at 4. and not moving the other bowl game that didn't matter.
Bro, I was so happy that it was F4.
I was fucking livid. I'm like, bro,
No, man. I was like,
jobs.
don't fuck with my podcast. Don't fuck with my podcast, son.
We didn't start till midnight anyway.
This is true. We would have been able to watch the
We
fucking
could have just
game.
watched the game here.
No, man. I had the TV up in front of my desk while I was working.
I was fucking livid, man. I'm like, then I gotta watch Duke go get crushed by whoever beat the shit.
Ole Miss, I think.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
But so yesterday, I'm sure a lot of you heard about this, right? New Year's attack, in New Orleans, which is where the game was played. Some driver freaking rammed his truck into a crowd of people at the intersection of Bourbon and Canal Street in the French Quarter. Killed 10 people, injured 35 at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh shit! I thought he killed more people than that. Okay. So
No, they killed 10. I think the article said at least 10. So
Okay.
I guess that means there's people in the hospital that could die.
Yeah.
right?
And I thought last I heard, like earlier today, was like 14 or 15.
That's possible.
Yeah,
Maybe the folks in the hospital.
But like you said, who knows, man? Because every article I read had a conflicting amount. Like,
okay.
Casualties, but I think that's what it is. It's people in the hospital who haven't died yet. Maybe they don't have confirmation and stuff.
But dude, 42-year-old guy, former Army.
Really?
Yeah.
U.S. Army?
Former
You gotta
U.S.
be
Army.
very specific on that because the guy was flying a flag that wasn't necessarily.
No, the guy was flying an ISIS flag, right?
Yeah. And they're labeling it a terrorist attack, which you know.
Well, I mean, isn't it though?
No, it is, but we've never labeled all the other mass shootings as a terrorist attack. Is what I found interesting.
They're not. Oh,
What changed? What?
It's the ISIS flag.
What was this guy different about?
It's the ISIS flag.
Yeah. What was his name?
Oh, 42-year-old.
Go ahead.
Shit. Shamsud Din Jabbar.
Yeah, his name wasn't Bob Williams.
Bin Laden.
Yeah, it's a terrorist attack because we can't. His name is mostly consonants or all vowels.
But the other guy. So that happened in New Orleans, and then there was another guy who he rented a freaking Cybertruck, parked it in front of the Trump Plaza in Vegas with a shitload of explosives. He fucking offs himself first.
Pussy.
Stayed in the truck when his shit blew up. But he offed himself first.
Bro, shout out to the dude in New Orleans who went out with a bang and didn't just.
Oh, he was shooting at the cops.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't kill himself.
Yeah,
he didn't kill himself like a fucking coward. Like if you're gonna do all that bullshit, like I don't know. But
no, better just
just
feel like
just
that?
Kill yourself. That's what I'm saying.
Just
If you're gonna kill
yourself.
yourself, just start with that. Like get spared about it. Like if you're gonna go off like that, then at least fucking
I don't get the whole like the guy in Vegas. Like if you're gonna do that, like why kill yourself?
Yeah, it's just a puss thing
leave
to
the
do.
fucking truck there and run off.
Yeah, it's a bitch.
And then let us manhunt you.
Yeah, it's a bitch ass move. Also, I mean, to go back to what we were saying before about the terrorist attack thing, I think they should all be labeled terrorist attacks. I just think it's funny that this one gets labeled a terrorist attack. I think any mass shooting
That's
should be
interesting, bro.
labeled a terrorist attack, especially if you do it in a public space that's that crowded and that like. Yeah, why wouldn't it be a terrorist attack? Like,
did they label? Remember the
school shooting? Maybe not, right? But like one kid, he's maybe targeting a few people. He's upset, but even that, I mean, that could potentially be a terrorist attack, depending on who carries it out. You know,
that's true.
But I think mass shootings, like the one in Vegas a few years ago, why is that not a terrorist attack?
I was gonna say that wasn't labeled a terrorist attack. Right?
It should be.
No.
Again,
I kind of I see your point, bro.
I think they all should be. That's why I was laughing. I'm like, the only difference between this one is that we can't pronounce this guy's name. So we're like, it's got to be a terrorist attack.
Yeah, it's funny, man. It's like I wonder if it's, is it the fact that his name is sort of Muslim?
Yeah, I'm sure. Right, I'm sure the
Right,
FBI
right.
has its own definition of this, and it's going to be the argument will be it's the flag, it's the
Right.
fact
Is
it's Muslim,
he
it's the
associated
ideology,
with
it's
right, associated with a terrorist organization?
right, and
Maybe that's it.
But
So if you're not associated with anybody, you
so
go
you
around
can't
killing
be a
people.
lone terrorist.
Yeah, you can't be a lone terrorist.
Just a serial killer. who likes to do them all at once. You're an efficient serial killer.
You have to be white to be a serial killer. Yeah.
Oh fuck. Yeah. So if you're brown, it's terrorist. If you're white, it's a serial killer or mentally ill.
Or mentally ill.
Yeah. And then if you're black,
and you have a Muslim name.
Oh, if you're black and you have a Muslim name,
terrorist.
Then you're a terrorist. Okay. But what if you're just black?
Mental illness.
Mental illness too? Or do we just...
You got sickle cell.
I can't breathe. Oh, fuck. Oh my God, bro.
Sorry, man. I digress.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
But yeah, man, crazy shit going on, man. Tell me about Deion Sanders. What's going on with Deion?
Dude, I think I saw this shit that was cool. A lot of times these kids won't play in these bowl games that don't matter. You know, like the playoffs obviously matter now, so the kids will play. But in you know the fucking Alamo. We have so many bowl games now, like the fucking Lasagna Bowl or whatever, like that.
But there's a few of them. I saw a fucking Tony the Tiger.
Yeah,
something
bowl. Wild, bro.
I'm just like, I don't want to be a part of that, bro.
Yeah, no. So what'll happen is the kids who feel like they have a future in the NFL or thing, they won't play.
They don't play.
Yeah, as they shouldn't. I don't get. I get it. So anyway, he would manage to get disability insurance for every member of his team in Colorado. Wow. He worked out a deal with the insurance company so that they could all play. And then essentially, if something happens to them, they would all be covered. And he got some astronomical,
like millionaires. Yeah,
well, he got some astronomical amount for Shador. You know, obviously, and like every other insurance, your value it dictates how much coverage and what the payout is, and yada yada yada, like your ranking. But so obviously, like Travis Hunter had a high amount, Shador Sanders had a high amount.
Dude, Shador and Travis Hunter are making, and don't quote me on this, but they're in that like $4 to $5 million a year.
Yeah, to play college football.
To play college football. Yeah, good for them.
Which I would argue those kids would have made close to that by just being able to use their name. You didn't have to necessarily pay them.
Right.
If you would have just let them do endorsements and that sort of thing.
But they did. I mean, isn't that part of it? Like they're allowed to do the
correct,
the Gatorade
but now they're also allowed to pay them. But I think what we did was we overcorrected. I don't think the school should pay these kids. I think what you should have started with was let these kids go get endorsements, which they weren't allowed to do before.
Yep.
And so I think, and maybe that's how you fix this a little, is that maybe you don't let your boosters or your alumni or whatever pay them directly, or maybe you do, and then maybe the school shouldn't be allowed to pay you directly, which they are now. The schools are allowed to be like, hey, we'll give you $1 million. You know, like
I mean, it's a big business, though. Bro.
It is.
So I can't argue with that.
It is, and I understand that argument. But I think what's happened is because we overcorrected, and going back like to what we were saying earlier, it's like the rich get richer. Like the schools with the big boosters are going to have the most amount of money and are going to have the biggest pockets, are going to have you're just exacerbating a problem that already existed. But if you let these kids make money off their likeness, then the kids who are popular, who are Arch Manning is in top in nil, doesn't even start for his team.
Is he really?
He's one of the top players in nil because of the name, right? Like because of his and I get that. But but inevitably, you like the kid from Boise State is Johnson. Yeah, he's amazing. They know him. He's got all kinds of shit. You know, he's gone viral. All kinds of like he would make a killing. Just being able to use his likeness and being able to sell autographs and do that kind of thing. Like, listen, cool that the schools
they
can
can't
pay you.
do that.
They couldn't before at all.
No, but now
they can.
They can.
I guess what I'm saying is they should have just left it at that and not that the schools can pay. They should have just been like, you're allowed to make money off your likeness and sell autographs and do all this shit and sell memorabilia and get endorsements and all that stuff. You're allowed to do that. The schools are still a non, whatever, they don't pay you. Right. The payment is you get a free education and room and board and food and whatever else in the swagger. Because I think that's how you fix this, because like everything else, we went from, hey, y'all can't have shit to take everything. And so I think the solution is somewhere in the middle there. I don't know enough about every nuanced detail of it, but I certainly think that there's an issue with allowing schools that are already super rich. I think if your goal, I guess, let me take a step back. If your goal is parity, then you shouldn't let the schools pay them. If your goal is to keep it the same way the system is now, then sure, let the schools pay them. Nothing changes, which is what we have now. Right. And you have, the same powers are always going to be in power because they're just going to have the most money.
It's funny that you say that, bro. I was listening to Colin Cowherd this week, and he had Urban Meyer on his show. And they would, and he was asking them like, "Hey, like, if the NCAA would have like a commissioner, like, would you be interested in a job like that? And Urban Meyer was like, no, man, I'm not interested. And he goes, what people don't see is that, he goes, there is the haves and the have-nots. And he goes, and the haves are never going to give that up, no matter what you do as a commissioner, and especially if you're trying to encompass all Division I schools into, you know, sort of like a similar system.
Yeah, he's right, dude. Think about, you know, I don't know, I don't want to name a college, but any college, right, that has powerful alumni. Let's say you have Silicon Valley, everybody goes to fucking Harvard or MIT, and all these people decide to just go, hey, Harvard, just start paying for players. Like, just, we want to be good at football. We academics are cool, but now you have, you know, whoever, the who's Harvard, fucking a list of millionaires who are just going, just every top position player,
right,
just $10 million bucks a year. And we're all gonna, you know, throw in, like, there's nothing stopping them from doing that, right? And then you get like kids who don't belong in Harvard going to Harvard, right? And then, you know, and it ruins that educational institution, I guess, quote unquote. But do they care? Because then they'll just go, we'll just treat it like we do every other school. They don't care about education either. Right. They really just want to play football.
It's gonna make money.
And then you have, like you said, you have the people who are in power are not giving. I mean, it's like politics, right? Like, the people who are in power are not giving that up, and they'll do anything they can to stay there, and they already have the power and the connections and the resources and all that to do that. So, like, yeah. I think that's what, like, watching this has shown. It's like, hey, yes, they got it right always all these years. Also, this doesn't change the system. This just makes it to where, like, maybe fan bases who, you know, it gives fan bases who wouldn't normally be there a little bit of hope, right? Ohio State gets a national title every few years or whatever, every decade at least one or whatever. Like, that fan base almost expects it, right? Boise State's fan base, every few years they get in that top 5 ranking thing, and everybody's happy and is excited, and you just give them a little bit of hope, and it's just enough to keep coming back the next year to go to the game, just enough to keep wearing the jersey, just enough to keep, like, all it does. SMU, it's like dead and out, and then now suddenly they have this good year, just gives you enough hope, but not too much to where you're actually thinking you can beat these teams. It's just your fan base thinks you can.
Right.
But the people who are there probably know, like, you got, if you're an SMU player, you got to be walking onto that field and looking across the other side and looking at the players and going, fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
but fucking fans are unreasonable.
Dude, I'm not a small guy by any means. I have stood around college football players or college basketball players or whatever who went to schools who were
different humans, bro.
They don't even look like we're the same species, bro.
Different humans, bro. They're different humans. I remember being my first sort of interaction with like big time college football players, and I remember it was like Ohio State and Michigan were playing here in like the Citrus Bowl or something like that, for whatever bowl it was at that year. And I remember those guys, I was working at Disney, and them coming into Disney, and I was working like a register at a fucking burger joint there, right? And them coming up in there, and I was like, holy shit, like, these guys are, I don't want to even say grown ass men. Like, these guys are like monsters.
No, they're and like unhealthily ginormous too. If you see the old lines,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they don't. You're like, that dude's gonna die at 27. But dude, holy shit,
this is like 1991 or 1992 or some shit huge. Like that, man. And they were gigantic. And you know, we've seen over time that these athletes are just getting bigger.
Yeah, it's just not the same, bro. It's just yeah. It's like, it's not. Yeah. You're not going to compete with that, I think. And now that there's even more money involved with this playoff, and now there's the rules of like, it's just I just think these schools just get more powerful. They just get bigger. They just get So we'll see, time will tell. We'll see. But I think it was cool for the first playoff. You're right. It is entertaining. But there hasn't been any shocks, any surprises. It's like, yeah, of course, you know, everything. Even the teams that were ranked in the top 4, the seeding. I mean, I know we were talking before off air about Oregon seeding. Like, they kind of got shafted in their seeding. But then it's like, did you just delay the inevitable for them? It's like, would you rather Oregon get blown out by Ohio State in a semi or in the final, or would you rather them get blown out early on and go, you didn't belong there anyway? If you beat SMU or you beat Arizona or you beat do we care? Like, we're just gonna go, of course, like we're gonna go, of course you beat them. You couldn't beat Ohio though. You couldn't beat Michigan. You couldn't beat Alabama. You couldn't beat, like, I think you couldn't beat Georgia. I think that's still the argument against Oregon is going to be that, and it's funny, man. I like That coach talks a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, I like him. He's good.
I like him. I also feel like he needed to get humbled, probably. Like he needed one of these games almost to because I think he ran his mouth a lot on the Deion Sanders shit. He ran his mouth
and that was last year,
something
yeah.
else. Yeah, and there was one game this year where he ran his mouth and he went all crazy. And I like that kind of swagger, like have it. But I also think that sometimes having that level of success that he had this year, that swagger, is probably hurtful. And maybe you come back next year and you're better because of something like this. Like you got to be humbled a little bit and then go, okay, like it's a different ballgame. Like,
you're right.
It's a different ballgame. Yeah.
Dude, let's close off college football with I want to talk about Travis Hunter real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So Travis Hunter,
trying to date his girl? What? No,
not yet.
Okay.
Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy, which is for most of you probably already know, but is like the best college football player for that year.
Yeah, it's like the MVP trophy of college football.
Yeah. But the one thing, if you guys can go watch his speech, it was a pretty good speech that he gave. But at one point, he gave a shout out to his father.
Okay.
And I wanted to bring it up on here, man, because you and I are both fathers, and that we're both very involved with our kids. And he gave this really heartfelt shout out to his dad, and was saying like, hey, like I know that you couldn't be here, and like I did this for you, that type of shit. A lot of times, especially like in the Black and Hispanic community, a lot of us are divorced, right? It's like mom is always the especially for boys.
Yeah.
Mom is always the focal point. And I'm not saying that him and his mom weren't close. I'm sure they were close.
No.
She was there, right, at the ceremony. But I thought it was really cool for him to give a shout out because dads don't get a lot of shout outs.
You're right. Especially in brown
and we don't
Black
expect
household.
them, bro.
No, not at all. Yeah.
We don't really expect them. But as he was giving the shout out, he was getting emotional. So you could tell that it was really like this heartfelt, feeling for his father, and it was just like listening to him. I kind of felt it, man. I'm just like, man, like that's fucking cool because a lot of times we don't get like. Nobody tells us that we're doing good. Nobody tells us, yo, thank you for the advice. Nobody tells us, and it's like it brought me back to. Remember, we had an episode on here, and I told you that I had to walk on the beach with my sons, like maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah, I remember.
And I had asked them, like, yo, if I die tomorrow, like, God forbid, right? What do you remember about me, about what I told you? And they all surprised me, bro, because they all, even the ones that don't take the advice, they were just like, oh, I'm going to remember that you said X, Y, Z.
And it wasn't the thing that you thought. I remember.
It was, and it wasn't the.
You thought they were gonna.
Nope. And so, it was just one of those. It brought me back to that, Mac. I was just like, yo, like, our kids are listening, and that was a good example of somebody who the guy wasn't even there, right? For whatever reason, his father couldn't even make it.
On brand.
Must have been a sickle cell.
It's like begging him to come back.
See, you ain't right, man.
Like,
I'm trying to do a good thing here.
I know you said you were going to get milk, but it's been a minute. Deion taught me how to catch. I wish you were here to see. So we don't know where his dad was. Is that the one that's in jail? Maybe I just assumed that.
No, there is another guy. I think is it Jimmy Horn? There's another receiver in Colorado that his father is like in jail.
Damn, I thought Jimmy Horn was Joe Horn's kid or Joe the former NFL guy's kid.
I don't know,
but maybe he is in jail. I don't know.
It's possible.
It's possible.
So shout out to Travis Hunter, man, winning the Heisman. Which, by the way, all the Heisman fucking hopefuls. Out. All of them fucking lost their bowl games.
It's like winning the MVP in the NBA or like getting on the cover of Madden. It never fucking works out. Winning coach of the year in any sport, it always goes to the person who doesn't get far at all. Oh man.
All right, man. Let's get off of sports, bro. What's up?
Do you know anything that's happening with Travis Hunter and the girlfriend thing? That's the only thing I saw about Travis Hunter was like all over.
Sorry, yes.
I don't know anything about it, and then that's why I made the comment earlier about his girlfriend. Like, I just keep hearing all this shit about.
Well, there's all this shit on the internet where the people are going like, yo, like, you're about to get paid because, he's like, he won the award. Not only did he win the Heisman, he won the award for the best wide receiver.
He won like all of them,
and he won the best reward
defensive player
for the best like cornerback, which is unheard of, right? So he's gonna be a really high pick. He's gonna get paid, and he's got this girlfriend that, if you look at the two of them, she's out of his league from a looks standpoint.
Oh yeah, but that always happens.
But that always,
yeah. Most athletes have girlfriends who are out of the league looks perspective. Yeah.
Especially if you're a successful athlete.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It balances out because he's rich and famous, and she looks like that.
And she's poor and looks like that.
Yeah,
right.
She's poor and looks like that. Yeah. She's a Puerto Rican chick, right? She probably doesn't have a dad either.
She can sympathize with him.
His
dad wasn't there at
New
York.
Dads weren't there. Yeah. And then look at
neither was mine.
We have so much in common.
Suck
I don't
it
have
up.
a dad. You don't have a dad.
Why are you crying about it, though?
Why are you crying in public? Bitch.
But fucking so the internet's been going crazy about going like, hell, yo, like, because she also is on like video record of saying like, he reached out to me like over like social media, maybe Instagram, I don't know, and she's like, he wasn't my type, but I gave him a chance and we got to know each other and blah blah blah, right? So could very well be legit, right? Maybe right. So she could be a great girl, whatever. My thing was, so sorry, and the internet was just like, yo, you better get a prenup, and it was like notable, like celebrities coming out and going like, yo, like this chick, like let me tell you, you better get a prenup, like do not marry this chick without a prenup, blah blah blah. My thing was, and he felt like he had to respond to that, and my thing was like, yo, nobody really gives a fuck, bro.
No, bro.
Like, really, like, no one cares. And if this chick turns out to be a phenomenal wife, no one's apologizing after that.
Yeah. Dude, and also, like, two things can be true, right? She could be into him right now, and she could be a gold digger, or she could be into him and the money and fame thing is attractive. Like, and that's why she's into him, and he could be into her because she looks like that and can't carry a conversation, so he doesn't have to talk much. Like, who knows? Like, and I think like what I got more out of this, it's funny because I'd never heard of obviously her at all until he won the Heisman. So it's like, man, we don't like to see anybody win at all. It's like we saw this dude winning, we saw this dude getting a Heisman, we saw this guy, a bright future ahead of him, and they just went, what can we knock about this guy's life? It's like, the internet's full of people who hate themselves, and so they have to like go out there and just fucking go like, well, she's only with you because of the money. It's like, well, what do you got going for you, bro? Because you're typing this from your mom's basement. So like, what the fuck are you? It's like it's. I like the reason it sort of stood out to me was like I'd never seen a headline about this dude at all, or his girlfriend or whatever. But now that he's famous, and like people are gonna call her a gold digger and whatever. And listen, I don't know her, I don't know him, I don't know shit. But the thing that stood out to me the most is like, yo, we fucking hate seeing people win. It's like we want to see you win, and then when you get there, we want to tear you down. Like we love building up a hero, but then we love it more to break these motherfuckers down, man. Like this kid was like an underdog. Dude, everybody wanted him to win a Heisman. And then he gets there and we're like, well, how can we fucking bring him back down to earth? And we do this with everyone, man. We build up everybody. I feel like just so that we could have the entertainment of fucking watching us just tear them down brick by brick. Like,
dude, let me tell you something. This is what we do with our presidents.
It's what we do with everyone. We don't just do this with athletes, bro. We do it with presidents. Yeah.
This is why with presidents it's only 8 years.
Yeah.
Right? You go 2 terms and then we go, fuck you.
We go,
get
fuck
out.
you. You get out. You've been there too long. You've been
at the top
for too long. Get the fuck out. Like, we don't like to see people succeed for too much. Like we'll be like, we love an underdog story. Yeah, we like it. We like to watch you on the journey to get there.
Yeah.
We don't like to watch you stay there.
Yeah.
And it's why we hate billionaires. It's why we hate CEOs. It's why we hate, it's like,
bro.
If you saw a guy who started off as a janitor, right, that stories always feel good. Oh, this guy started off as a janitor. He worked his way to the top of this company, right? And then the minute he's at that position for 20 years, then it becomes this fucking guy's been running his company for 20 years. He makes way more money than the current janitor. It's like, we just find any way to knock people down. It's really weird, man, how humans, it made me think of like, and I feel like I heard this somewhere. It's like the same reason why we really like human beings like things at the Coliseum. It's like we just like to watch us just destroy
each other,
and it doesn't matter how. It could be verbally, it could be physically, it could be mental warfare. It's just we just like to fucking watch humans just rip other humans apart, because then the internet's full of people just reading comments or commenting on comments or stuff. Like in this case, it's like I'm sure the comment section on Travis Hunter's fucking
I have to be crazy.
social media have to be insane. Like to me, I would tell these kids just turn it off. Oh, bro, just deactivate all your social media the minute you get any level of success if you're a fucking kid, bro.
All I could think was like, I'm like, dude, if she turns out to be a phenomenal wife, no one's apologizing to you.
Nope.
And if she turns out to be exactly what everybody thinks she is, then they just go, told you.
Right.
You taking half your shit, told you.
Yeah, and they're not gonna they're not gonna apologize for being wrong.
No.
If they are wrong. Also, I don't know this girl at all. She could be the sweetest girl ever.
Yeah.
She could be awful. But now she's getting dragged through. And I don't know, maybe she likes the attention, maybe she doesn't. Again, I don't know enough about her. But then it's also like now you're throwing in this girl who had nothing to do with any of this shit.
Nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah.
She got a boyfriend.
And she got a boyfriend. And then, just happened to pick a guy that obviously is Travis Hunter. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. It just stood out to me so much because I'm like, man, we just fucking hate to see people winning, man.
Yeah, bro.
We hate it. It's weird. It's such a weird trait that human beings have.
Dude, did you see this fucking flight from Chicago to Maui?
Oh, I thought you were about to talk about the aliens coming.
We got aliens coming?
The shit.
Oh, let's talk about
aliens
that.
Are fucking coming, bro.
Let's
They're
talk
here.
about that.
I thought that's what you. I thought
Speaking
that's
of flights?
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about the Chicago thing. I didn't hear shit about that.
That was quick, bro. The Chicago thing. So it was a flight from Chicago to Maui, bro. Somebody fucking snuck in the wheel well of the airplane.
Wait, from Chicago to Maui?
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Dead on arrival.
Oh, they died on the way there?
Dead, bro.
Oh, shit, yo. Chance the Rapper had a good run. Fuck out. Trying to get, was that Kanye? We're fucking trying to get out of Chicago that bad.
Yeah, man. That was, and I don't have any information on that. I don't know who it was or what his profession was.
Barack really fell off, bro. He used to go to Hawaii on Air Force One. Now he trying to get damn, Barack tore him down.
But no, man, the drones in Jersey, right? Is that what you talking about? Is that what you talking about?
Bro, the drone. Yeah. Of all the things in New Jersey, of all, who knew? I knew us. We were special, bro. Knew it.
But dude, so I was watching that story for a while because when the first headline, and then I see the second one, and then a couple of days pass, and I'm going like, yo, like no one is saying anything about this. That's the government. Like that's not real. We blow balloons out of the sky.
I literally told somebody this exact same thing. They were like, oh, that has to be, it could be aliens, it could be another country. I go, no, it would have been blown out of the sky. And my exact words were, we took a balloon out of the sky.
Yeah.
And we knew exactly what it was, but we were like, I don't like it. That shit's right there. We don't know what it's up to. We blew it up. I was like, you gonna tell me we're gonna let drones sit for days hovering near the largest city in the world, arguably, or one of the most fucking important cities in the world, in New York City, like
right,
and we're just gonna sit around. The government's gonna go, yeah, we don't know what it is. Fuck you, bro. That shit would have been blown out of the first 30 minutes it was sitting out there,
dude.
Bro.
If that shit was like Iowa, I would have been like, maybe it's aliens.
Right.
When this shit was over Jersey, and I go, okay, so you're right by New York, you're just north of DC. And I go, and no one is saying anything,
it's us, right?
Man.
We're testing
I'm like,
shit.
that's us. Yeah, like, no, we're probably trying to find some shit.
Oh, see, I took that as it could be a test run on Border Patrol over our fucking. I know this sounds wild. No, but border patrol on our seas, on our oceans. Like, how do you defend yourself against? Like, think about it. Like we're obviously like we think north and south. Like we have Canada, we have those borders, but to the left and right we have oceans, right? And we're susceptible to fucking missiles and whatever. I'm like, yo, do you just make a wall of drones up and down the coast that
give a wide jersey?
No, I think to your point about talking about it's Washington's right there. Maybe military bases are right there. Maybe there's like some strategic like position, or maybe that's just the best place that they could have tested that day. Like I'm assuming that these are military drones, and we're just testing them. And the fact that they can sit there and hover for days goes, oh, this shit's gonna just be there permanently one day. And as shit approaches, we're just shooting shit out of the sky. Is what I'm thinking. Of like,
okay,
that's how I thought of it. Submarine, by fucking thing, but like you're just, and there's just gonna be warfare. Just gonna be dudes with fucking joysticks, and then fucking in their mom's basement. You're gonna be able to sign up for the military just an esports guy. Just never leave your house. Remote positions, fucking blowing up any country that ends in a stand.
For me, man, I think it's something that we were looking for. I think there's something in the area of, you know what I'm saying?
You think like another airplane or another aircraft or?
No, I think that maybe they are surveying an area looking for something. Because the drones, they stayed like in a specific area. They didn't like venture out. And it was almost like, like they're looking for something. Like, and who knows what the drones are equipped with, right? Is it infrared shit? Is it, whatever?
Yeah, we don't know.
Like, is it, are they looking for some uranium shit? You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm going extreme. I don't know that for a fact, so don't quote me on that, people. But
yeah, we're all speculating now because we really don't know. Yeah.
But the fact that nobody was making noise about it, I'm just like, that's the government.
Us, bro. Yeah. That's us. I know people are like, oh, it's fucking aliens. I'm going, there's zero chance that the American government is gonna let any aircraft hover for days at a time near, your largest city or, one of your most important cities. Yeah. And you're not just going to blow that shit out of the sky. Zero fucking chance, bro. Yeah. Zero. That could have been a kid's drone from Jersey that got that shit for Christmas, and we would have blew that shit to smithereens and we didn't know what it was, bro.
You shouldn't have been fucking around.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So you should have fucking taken your little drone, kept that shit at like 12 feet in your backyard, you see?
Yeah, and it's been seen over like the last month. Like I said, there's no way that's us.
There's no way that's us, bro. Yeah, there's no way that's not us. Just because again, we're shooting that shit out of. If we don't know what that is, bro, it's getting shot out of the sky.
Yeah.
Like,
how are we doing on time, bro?
We're 51 minutes in, man. It's just about 52.
We good. Tell me about the Phoenix Suns.
Dude, this just. I know we've been on sports long, but this isn't like necessarily a sports take. The owner of the Phoenix Suns just rolled out like a $2 value menu. And in the arena.
Oh shit. Okay.
So now you can go to the arena. You can get, I think it's popcorn for $2. You can get a soda for $2. You can get a hot dog for $2. You can get a bottle of water for $2. And so previously, a family of four, if they went to a Phoenix Suns game, you would have spent $98 on a water, a popcorn, and soda. I think is what it was. So family of four, so about $100. Now that same meal.
So that those things for
all four people. That's what they would have spent. $100. You talk about a hot dog.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And
bro.
Water. Yeah. Popcorn. It's the cheapest shit you could possibly buy. So it was $98, I think is what he said. So it's about $100. And now that same meal for family of four will cost $24 total. And so his thing was, I guess he was saying he was walking through the concourse, and I'm not buying this. Listen, I don't think this is an altruistic thing. Like, I think these teams are making a lot of money doing other things now and all that, and maybe this is very forward looking into other ways. But he could just be greedy and keep the money I think the fact that he's did this, and I know he isn't the first, there's other sports teams that have done this as well, but hopefully I think they all follow suit, is he walked through the concourse and he just, I guess he told himself like, hey man, there isn't any options here for families that don't want to just spend a shit ton of money to come to a game, and it's not accessible. So it's like you already paid a lot to get in.
Right.
And then now if you want to eat here, it's a lot. And it is, man. My biggest gripes right now going to watch live sports is like all of it. It's like it's inconvenient. It's like shitty to park. It's like everything about it is inconvenient, and then it's expensive. So it's like I'm paying to be inconvenienced, and then I'm paying so much more for alcohol that isn't good. I'm paying so much more for food that isn't good. I'm paying so much more, like to park, and I have to walk 2 miles anyway to get to the stadium. I'm paying, so it's like everything. And so I think for him, if he's saying, hey, I want to make this a family experience where before you used to be able to go see a movie or whatever and do this, for $50 you can take your whole family to a movie, popcorn, do that shit.
Yep.
And I think he's trying to sort of establish something like that where, hey, I can get you tickets, I can get you food, I can get you all this stuff, and you can go with family for, enjoy your game, and it's not something that it should be a treat once every couple of years because you can't afford to do it, kind of thing.
Dude, I'm in that boat, man. Like, I got a family of 5, and to go to local, we're in Orlando, to go to a Magic game. It's expensive, bro. Mm-hmm. Like it's stupid expensive.
Yeah, if you want decent seats,
right? If you want to be in the fucking nosebleeds, but I've been there.
No, but you're looking at
it's not fun.
It's not fun. There's no point in going. So you're looking at a grand just to get in. And then
you want good seats. You want decent. It's not even good. If you want decent seats, and and you're gonna have some food there, it's a G.
Yeah, it's a grand. And then if you want to have alcohol, it's $1,200. It's like it's insane.
And then kudos to him, man, because a lot of times what you force families to do is like, okay, well, I'll buy the tickets, but we're gonna eat at home or we're gonna eat out somewhere else. That's more, that's a better value.
Right.
And I'm not gonna buy when I get in there.
Right. I'll just eat before. Yeah. And then we'll go enjoy the game, or I'm just not gonna go. But now, if you made the tickets a little, a little more accessible, and now I go, hey, we can have dinner there, we can enjoy a game. It becomes a little more accessible. Maybe I'll do that 2 or 3 times a year versus 1.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that gets overlooked here, from a business perspective, is you're creating fans. You're like that winning culture thing starts like with your fan base, like passionate fan bases, right? And so, if I get you to go, and now your kid goes, now your kid becomes a fan. So now I have you watching Phoenix Suns games on TV later, but now I have your son, your daughter watching Phoenix Suns games.
You got generations.
You got generations. And so what you're doing is you're building a generation of fan base that is willing then to spend money, because maybe they go, we used to go to games all the time. What would be cool? If I sat in that lower section one day and it was a buffet, and maybe that's a Christmas present for dad or for mom. And maybe, I think it's a stepping stone to more business later on. And because again, I know this isn't an altruistic, like he wants to be a good human being move, but it is like a win-win, I think, is what I look at it for both sides. It's like it will lead to something better for him, but it also will lead to something better for families now that don't want to go or can't afford. So, and I'm always for that, man. Like you said, to your point, it's like sometimes when you think about doing something with your kid, there's so much shit now that you're just like, there's so many options, but also there's not many options like when I was a kid now where you go, I don't have to go out and spend $200. I feel like every time I leave my house, it's $200.
Bro, I can't go into the supermarket and spend under 50, man. And it's getting a couple of things. The other day, man, we went, my son and I, we went to like a New Year's Eve party. And dude, I just went, I did get a bottle of alcohol, but it wasn't anything expensive. And I probably spent $30 on the bottle. And then I got like some bitters and some oranges and
it's $100.
Dude, with the bada bing cherries, dude. I spent $100 on, and I can't walk out of there with like 2 bags. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I just did a night with my sisters in town, and we just did I think we had a cocktail, no, maybe 2, and not all of us. So a couple of us did like a cocktail to, let's say there was 5 of us out, and then we did dinner, and I'm almost positive, dude, between the 5 of us, between dinner and cocktails and stuff, we were at probably like $400 or $500.
Wow.
And in total that we spent.
Yeah. He said
we didn't have anything
4 or 5
fancy.
of you?
Yeah, it was 5 of us.
5 of you, okay.
So 5 of us, I think, within a 3-hour span, dropped $500 to have a couple of cocktails and then have dinner and some cocktails. I'm almost positive it was at least. It was probably at least 400 in tips.
So $100 ahead.
$100 ahead. Again, to have, I think I had 2 drinks and then whatever we ate. And then it's like, and it wasn't anything fancy. Like we're eating, like burgers and, whatever else. And good cocktails, a good cocktail bottle. But, I think around the cocktails alone, about $100, $120 for 5 of us. It's, it's just like, man, going out now, it's crazy. And it's, again, it's a fun experience. It's a thing, you enjoy it. But you just go, how many people can do this all the time?
Yeah. Not many.
Not many. It's just crazy, and you should be able to. And granted, yes, you can pick different places, and yes, you could, different cities in the world have different price points, and different drinks, different whatever.
Dude, but you know what?
Shouldn't have to.
We went to fucking Chick-fil-A the other day. Family of 5, Chick-fil-A, $60.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
And only 4 of us got meals, and one of us got just an entree and a small entree.
It's
at
insane.
That. So yeah, it's crazy, man.
I always think in my head, I'm like, how many cocktails me and Sean have on a pod?
We can start charging for these.
We start charging. We got to make a cocktail parlor, by the way. Everything around here is closed, and everything around here is closed.
Is it really?
There might be everything's closed in downtown Orlando. It's a ghost town now, man. So there might be an opportunity.
Why? What's going on?
A lot of regulations that they've changed recently about serving alcohol past midnight, about getting special permitting.
I did
and
hear about that shit.
So it is like a lot of popular places that you probably went to when you were young, like going clubbing, like in your day, and then I was going clubbing. Like some of those places are gone now that have stood the test of time here, haven't made it. Wow. Just a lot of shit is closed, and I think.
So what is it? They can't serve past certain time.
I think you need a special license now to serve past midnight.
Oh shit!
And then so now only a select few people can even afford that license. And then I think I think some people are grandfathered in for a certain amount of time or whatever. So, what it appears to me is that they're deliberately trying to push out a certain demographic from or socioeconomic status from even being able to come downtown. So that downtown now attracts, I think, certain businesses from coming here, because right now you don't really have many sort of like quote unquote nice options downtown. Right, they're all pretty like either dive bars or and they're fun, they're awesome. I mean, they grew up going to a lot of places, having a great time. But I think what they're trying to do is revitalize. Going back to like the basketball thing, is I think the Orlando Magic and their owners have these big projects, these big real estate projects where they're building these massive complexes that are going to be and I think what they're trying to do is make the surrounding area match sort of the aesthetic and the caliber and and I think the clientele. And so what they're trying to do is basically push out I think a certain clientele and attract new businesses.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so
sucks, but it makes sense.
It does suck, man. Especially when you see places that you've seen for 20 years, and you've had great memories and fun with friends and that sort of thing. And you're like you were talking before, like spending too much money. It's like some of these places were so cheap you couldn't even believe you could drink in them for like $1. It was like insane. So it's like these memories of like broke college kids.
You need that shit.
You need that shit, man. You really do, man. You need places like that, and where you can kind of just gather and have fun and be a broke college kid and have a good time. And a lot of those places are gone now. So it's like it was heartbreaking to see a lot of it. I mean, who knows? We'll see what it turns into. Maybe overall it's good for the city, but I think there's got to be a balance in there somewhere. Yeah.
Or maybe they push I guess it's all
gentrification.
You push them out to different areas.
Yeah.
Dude, talk to me about this. What's this tunnel between New York and London? What's going on?
It's a concept right now. Let me pull it up. I think I had it on my phone.
Is that Elon?
It's not Elon. It is. I
know Elon was. While you pull that up. Elon Musk owns the Boring Company, and it is not because he's boring. It is because he's building tunnels between tunnels in major cities, and I think the one he has now is in LA, right?
Yeah, so it's a transatlantic tunnel. So this company is proposing a tunnel. It would go from New York to London. And it would, this thing would revolutionize global travel. But what they're saying is you could get there within minutes. So the project will cost an estimated $20 trillion.
Minutes? What the fuck is in the...
I think it's a...
what the fuck is in a tunnel?
Between London and New York in under an hour.
On what? Like a train?
It would be a high-speed...
A high-speed train?
Yeah, high-speed rail. And it would be $20 trillion. It would take hundreds or thousands of years, somebody said, but they're kind of been going back and forth saying that they could make it a massive project and do it quicker. The tunnel would be much larger than the Channel Tunnel, which presents significant engineering challenges, obviously. Yeah. So this is a theory, it's a concept, it's like a proposal now.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
it hasn't, the project hasn't broken ground or hasn't even been accepted or designed, because then it's like who pays for it, who does, so there.
You figure it would be something between, like, you go England and the U.S., like that's the partnership, I would imagine.
Yeah, maybe, but who benefits from that, right? Everybody does, right? So is it a global thing where you make more of Europe? First off, the engineering, they have to figure it out.
The U.S. pays for everything anyway.
Yeah, we do, man. So we foot the bill. So we're the rich uncle that foots the dinner bill. So we're
until Trump gets in there.
Uncle Donnie. Uncle Donnie making everybody put in.
Uncle Donnie gonna bring on a new state, the 51st state, Canada. Come join us.
Is it Canada or is it Greenland? Donnie got a thing for Greenland, bro.
I saw that shit. He wants to buy Greenland, right?
Uncle Donnie got a thing for buying Greenland. Yeah, he's been saying that shit forever, bro. He's going to turn that shit. Bro, Greenland's just going to... I feel like it's just going to have a giant Trump hotel
Tower
on that bitch. The capital's just going to be called Trump. That's amazing.
But no, man, that sounds... I mean, that would be amazing.
It sounds so far-fetched, and it's crazy, and it would be a long project, and it's far away. It's proposed, but basically they're saying, like, it's feasible, and... you just kind of, there's a lot to work out. I don't say you just have to work out. There's a lot to work out, but, it just takes somebody with a crazy, nutty ass idea, and then this gets, you get the wheels turning.
Yeah.
I mean, we already run cable for internet and that kind of thing, like across the ocean, right from here to there. So it's weird because something like that, you're like, no fucking way. But then you think of the shit that we've already done that people have been like, no fucking way. And you're like, yeah, if somebody told me you were running a fucking Ethernet cable from here to Singapore, I'd be like, no fucking way. But there's one in there somewhere, from here to, who knows? So, yeah, anything's possible, man. And so I've seen this start to pop up on a few occasions now, and I think talks are like sort of heating up of like, hey,
is there like a company that's
I'm trying to think of I think it's an architectural firm or something that's actually proposed it. Tunnel beneath.
And see, for me, man, I think something like that, you need somebody like an Elon Musk to be crazy enough to just go, yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Oh, you guys don't want to do it? I'll pay for it myself.
Yeah, I'll pay for it. I'll do it, and then he'll charge you a fucking toll to go there,
right?
And then and you do it.
But a high speed rail, so with a high speed rail, I guess is faster than a fucking like a Concorde flying from New York to
the Concorde. But the Concorde, it's funny you said it. The Concorde is no longer a thing, right? And
is it? I don't know.
No, I don't think the Concorde's a thing anymore. Remember that shit used to make it in London to New York, and how long it was like hours,
I don't
right?
Even know. I'm gonna find out.
It was crazy, and I think and the Concorde, man, dude, look up when the Concorde was built and what that thing was, an engineering marvel. But I think it was too loud. It was there was all kinds of like gripes. I think it wasn't fuel efficient. Obviously, it was all kinds of shit. But the Concorde for its time was impressive. I mean, it was one of the most technologically advanced aircrafts ever built, and I want to say the Concorde was like a project from the 80s or something like that. Like, it's been around for a long time, and they did that flight in a couple of hours from New York to London. I think it was like 2 or 3 hours. It was something stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me
see. It doesn't sell in there. Yeah, and I think it's out of commission, and I know there's been companies that have sort of resurfaced recreating that thing, but dude, yeah, that thing was around, man, I want to say late 80s, early 90s. And now it's like I think you tell people now who were born, like your sons probably would, if you told them there was a plane that did that to that.
3.5 to 4 hours.
To 4 hours, yeah, which is about half the time that it takes now. And the Concorde is not a thing anymore.
It's gone.
Yeah. But I think it's, there's all these beefs with it. I think I'm pretty sure it was like the noise pollution. It was the fuel. It was all that shit now that we're all sensitive about, like, basically, sort of. But I know there's like other planes in development that have had test flights and all that stuff that like sort of like Concorde 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever. But
I didn't see what else was said about this. But
dude, but doing a tunnel,
fastest flight ever recorded, 2 hours and 52 minutes
from New York to London.
From New York to London.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
But it says typical was 3.5 to 4 hours, but fastest flight ever was 2 hours, 52 minutes, and 59 seconds.
Dude, but if you did this tunnel, you would not only would you open up global commerce in a way that's never been seen before. Like, we could trade so much back and forth. You could theoretically, you could be someone who lives in the U.S. and works in London in a day.
Yeah,
and come back. You know, like it just does so
it really,
much.
Yeah, right. It opens up so much.
It opens up so much. Yeah, I'd be curious to see, because when I first saw the story, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And then I went, you know what? Everything starts off with a get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Anything impressive, anything that moves us forward, anything. So, yeah, who knows? We might not see it in our lifetime. Maybe we'll see it breaking ground in our lifetime, but we won't see it actually functioning. But again, right now, it's just in theory. It doesn't say who's the one who proposed the tunnel. I thought it was like an architecture firm.
Well, here's something about the Concorde. It said it was the only supersonic commercial jet to fly internationally. It was retired in 2003.
Okay, so
22 years ago?
Yeah.
Shortly after a fatal Air France crash in Paris. Today, it takes about 7 hours to fly from New York to London. So,
the Air France flight, a Concorde flight?
I don't
realize
know.
That.
It just says shortly after a fatal Air France crash.
Yeah, I know they had issues too. But
that's funny, man. It takes 7 hours to fly from New York to London.
Yeah, and that's on like a good day.
Yeah.
And I think it's quicker depending on the stream, whatever, to come back or go. Yeah. Usually, but I feel like I've had quicker flights that way and slower flights back. I can't remember. But
yeah, I've never been.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Dude,
let's close this off with we gotta talk about this. We had somebody do a major feat. Got a major award.
Oh, it's a major award.
There was a porn star that fucked 100 guys. Lily Phillips, stand up.
She can't, bro. The fuck you mean stand up?
So Lily Phillips,
vagina's roast beef right now. It's been
I don't know. That shit is shredded pork. The Muslims won't touch it.
Just legs right now.
So Lily Phillips, 23-year-old OnlyFans model, slept with 101 guys in 14 hours.
And then her husband ran over a bunch of people in New Orleans. Fuck, dude. How many hours?
14.
Let's average this out. How many minutes are in 14 hours? Times 60. That's a lot of fucking minutes.
It's
anyway,
a lot.
How many dicks you take in an hour for?
I want to say, did I say that she did?
That's about 7 dicks an hour on average.
And I think so. She was so taking this. She was like trying to.
That's doable. I'm not impressed anymore.
She was trying to make them all come.
So you got to make them all finish, and you get 14 hours. So 7 an hour. So you average about what's that? If you do 7 an hour, you get about 9 minutes of average male. We got a buzz at 9. It's doable. The math checks out.
I only need like 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, and then she goes on record. She goes, and I quote, "My eyes sting like nothing else."
Just your eyes?
Because all the cum on my face. And she goes, I can think of 5 or 10 guys that I actually remember, but that's it. If I didn't have the video, I wouldn't even remember doing 100 guys.
Is it because she blacked out, or is it because she's like so into it, or is it just because of the shame? Is it just because of? Does she sound like she enjoyed this?
Look, she goes, it's weird. The hardest part is conversing with them. We only had 2 to 3 minutes, and I had to give them a good time, but I felt like I was letting them down. Because now I don't know if they all came, but that was like the. That was like the goal.
Yeah, because
right?
I guess it doesn't count.
No, it fucking counts. I mean, if you got a fucking dick in you, it sucks, right?
But if you just take one pump, it's easy to get 100. You know what I mean? There's got to be rules, bro. You can't.
Shit don't count.
Shit don't count. Also, does anybody ever marry this chick, bro? She's got to go somewhere where there's no internet.
Somebody
right?
will. Fuck. Yeah, somebody does, bro. Dude, guys don't care, man.
Yeah, they do.
No.
You're out of your fucking mind.
No. Sorry. Respectable guys don't care. Oh, sorry. Respectable guys care. There's a lot of guys out there that don't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah, she's going to end up with the dude in the basement.
There's
we
a
were
lot
talking
of
about
dudes out
earlier.
there that don't give a fuck, man. Again, I haven't seen this. Have you seen her?
Shit, I saw what she looked like on.
and
she
what
was
is
on a
it?
podcast or something.
Okay.
Like that. She's a. I'm trying to. She's not an ugly. She's a pretty girl. Like not.
Okay.
She's not someone you would turn your head and if you saw her in public.
Right.
But she's not like idiots. Like she'd be fine. Like
Yeah.
trying to get a date, but she wasn't. Like if you saw her in public, you wouldn't look twice. She's just average.
Just
looking.
average
Yeah, she's
looking.
fine. Yeah, it's like she's not ugly. It's average. She's like the kind of pretty where you just go, you don't got to take 100 dicks, girl, in 14 hours,
Right.
like probably, but you know, yeah. But yeah, fuck, man, that's a tough one, bro.
Yeah, it's like a fucking like a assembly line of dicks.
That's yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Like good for her, I think. Yo, she's a fucking athlete, bro. She's LeBron James of taking dick.
Well, speaking of that, man, she's fucking. She aims now to do. She wants to do 1,000
Okay.
in 24 hours.
Oh, good for her. Up the ante. The 100 seemed too easy, so you got to up the ante 1,000. But
Dude,
what's the criteria? Do they just have to
114
get in,
hours?
or not? Like what's the criteria? Do they just have to slip it in and then out, and then does that count, or do they?
I'm
Have to
pretty
finish?
sure it's not just that.
Is it like minimal pumps? Like even if you don't,
Oh,
you gotta get.
that's good. That's good. Right?
right?
Gotta be minimum pumps.
Like how many pumps could you do? You said what, 3 minutes? You got to buzz out the thing. Like if you do a stroke a
No, if you
minute
just-
for 3 minutes.
no, stroke a minute. What the fuck are you doing?
A stroke a second. Sorry. Nobody. Wait, I'm the only one that does a stroke a minute.
While me taking his time.
I do. I want to savor it.
Dude, I feel like you should be able to, like, if you really wanted to, 30 pumps.
30 pumps. Okay.
If you were really turned on and you really wanted to come, then you could do it.
Oh, so you mean like you could get there that quickly, like 30
Yeah,
pumps?
I feel like if you had the right stimulation, you could get there quickly.
Oh, yeah. I see. You got that whole I'm here for a good time, not a long time motto.
It's like I'm trying to get on to the next one.
You know what? I feel like you be in your head about coming fast.
Oh, I know.
And then you
Shit goes limp.
and then it goes.
Be like, wait, where's the fluffer?
The fluffer
Get
gotta
the
look
fluffer
better
back
than
over
her.
here. You get back to the end of the line.
The fluffer gotta look better than her, right? You gotta be like, oh, because she's not someone you would get up for. Like,
I haven't seen her, so I don't know.
yeah. Again, I saw her on. Fuck, whose podcast was it? I'm drawing a blank now, man. I saw like the video clip of her on a podcast talking
Yeah.
about it. She didn't look happy. I don't know if she wasn't happy with her performance or their performance or what. But
Where's she from? Is she from like
she's
England?
from the UK. Yeah,
UK,
yeah.
okay, that's also okay.
Yeah. So her teeth always looked like that. It wasn't the dick.
Why do a lot of English women got fucked up grills?
Because they got public health care.
Fucking braces don't
Because
exist.
that's what happens when you have socialized medical care. Just having good teeth isn't a priority at that point. Like, you see? Good shit comes out of us being greedy Americans. Damn, bro. I mean, I don't know. Do you say good for her? That's like a career achievement. Like, yeah, I guess.
No,
for
man.
her,
I mean,
but from a personal standpoint, yikes.
dude, like I've seen gangbangs, right, and in like the porn industry, and I'm always like, man, why?
Do you feel bad for her?
I just like, man, these dudes are fucking you up. And if that's your,
Dudes are fucking.
yeah, and dude, and I'm just like, yo, what do you do after that for an encore?
She don't know her dad either.
Oh, I didn't look that up, man.
Do you think
Is Phillips the maiden name or?
Yo, when she gets her award at the AVN thing, do you think she thanks her dad? Oh my god, bro. Oh fuck, dude. That's
Yeah,
wild.
dude. No,
No,
I don't.
I mean, yeah, again, good for her. That's a personal achievement. But yo, if you're the boyfriend or the dude, you imagine if you don't know and this shit just casually comes up one day, like you bring her home and and your little brother's like, you look familiar, and then busts out his phone to show you like, hey, I saw your girlfriend on like One Chick, 1,000 Dicks.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
It's
Yeah, right. That's a wrap. You just throw her out.
I think the minute your dicks all time have exceeded the fingers you have.
Dude, I've seen chicks on like podcasts that'll go like, oh, my head count's not oh, my body count's not that high. It's like 60. And I'm like, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, 60 is a lot. I mean, listen, teach their own. I don't like to. I don't want to shame people's fetishes.
No, man, do your thing.
Do your thing, but
also, right? Understand that there are a lot of
limiting your
potential.
Right? Yeah, like,
that'll go like
guys with options are gonna go nah, because no guy wants to be with someone who's been with the entire fucking neighborhood. Like like guys with options are gonna go no. Like like you said, someone will lock it down. It'll be the someone who doesn't have options. Right. Yeah. Like some guy who's got.
Yeah, there's plenty of guys that will take it.
It won't be a guy she wants or should want. You know what I mean?
Or at least long term.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. All right, man, how sore is she? Fucking
bro, I don't know what the fuck to do.
We gotta
with that
send her to
bro.
drink. Do you ice that? How do you prep? God, I have so many questions.
How do you prep? How do you recover?
Yeah, how do you recover from that? Yo, she an athlete. Is she taking like the recovery stuff afterwards? Is she taking pre-workout before? Is she taking BCAAs after? Like, I don't.
She need a cortisone shot.
A cortisone shot to fucking
in a pussy lips.
Taking oxygen.
And be like, give me the shot. Give me the shot. Hit me, doc. I gotta go for the next 50.
Hit me, doc. Fucking crazy. Oh fuck, bro.
Yo, on that, tell them where they can find us.
Oh fuck, not in Lily Phillips' next video. Unless we could be in the background commentating.
Would you do it?
What?
Would you do it?
One of the dudes fucking?
Yeah.
No.
Like,
it's fucking gross.
Nope.
To me. Yeah, no.
Yeah, they'd be like, you're number 72.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't say it's fucking gross. It's not my. I would have a tough time even getting.
Yeah, I couldn't get up.
Even like, I'd be watching all these other dudes. I'm like, first off, I don't like her, and then I gotta be like, I gotta be number 72. I gotta pick my number like I'm at the deli line, and then the whole shit about it just doesn't sound appealing to me at all. And I don't want to be the record books that bad.
Yeah. Fuck that.
It doesn't sound appealing at all. Yeah, no.
All right, man. Tell them where we at.
At the Carbon Foot Podcast on YouTube, at Carbon Foot Podcast on IG, the Carbon FP Pod on TikTok, on X, all your favorite audio platforms. So wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Radiocast, your smart devices, download, play us on everything, leave a review. Let us know. New year. Hopefully we'll be coming at you more often and more. I shouldn't say more often, but more consistently. And make sure you follow our socials. We're gonna be trying to get some stuff going on there. So
yeah, man. So happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah.
We wasn't here for Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. 2025. Let's do it big, people.
Yeah.
What did we talk about last time? What was the saying we said last time? We probably gotta repeat that shit, man.
If you're not changing, you're choosing.
You're choosing.
You're not changing, you're choosing. That's the fucking motto for 2025.
That's the motto for 2025. So get off your asses, people, and get it done.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And we appreciate you guys. We will see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Bye.